This is one of the world's newest lakes, Imja Lake. It is serene and rather beautiful, but to the people of the Everest region it is a sinister menace that they fear could burst its banks at any time, sending a catastrophic flood down their valley. All this water was once frozen into the Imja Glacier. A map of the Everest region from the 1950s shows the glacier whole and complete. Today, the maps have had to be revised to show a whole new geographical feature, the expanse of open water that is modern-day Imja Lake. Dr. Alton Byers comes back to this valley at regular intervals to chart and photograph the dramatic changes here.
In '62, it was still a series of small meltwater ponds in this area. But by 70 years, we're just talking the last 30 years, 35 years or so. What we're looking at is the cutoff point is right about here. All this ice from here down is now gone.
And beyond.
And beyond. It would have been exactly what we're looking at there,
just
continued throughout what is now a lake.
So what sort of distance are we talking about, this having retreated?
That looks like about at least a kilometer to me.
So at least a kilometer since 1956 or so.
Exactly.
But all this water sits at the top of a valley held back by a dam of rock and ice that is inherently unstable. Just a few miles further down, a livid scar still cuts through the Khumbu Valley, evidence of where 30 years ago another glacial lake burst its dam and ripped past the village of Pangboche. Sonam Hishi Sherpa remembers that day. He's guided trekkers in the Khumbu for more than 3 decades and is quite sure that one day Imja will burst.
The Imja Lake is now, we are very worried. Every year is getting bigger and bigger,
That's Imja Lake you're worried about?
Yeah, it's mostly Imja Lake.
And are you worried that one day it may burst?
Yeah, not for tomorrow, no day after tomorrow. Who knows, is that a couple of years later.
A shattered bridge bears witness to a previous violent flood that tore through this populated valley, a valley filled with tourists and trekkers for much of the year. At the moment, the lake that sits perilously above their heads drains peacefully, but if the melting continues, the water level must be lowered.
Water could be drained from this lake to prevent a catastrophe. Not only that, as they did so, they could use it to create small-scale hydroelectric power to serve the people of this valley. But it would, of course, cost money. Exactly the sort of money that they hope the politicians meeting in Copenhagen are going to provide.
Alton Byers has seen similar projects at work in South America and is campaigning for funds to do the same in Nepal, not least because he sees no end to what's happening in the valleys around Mount Everest.
Even in the world's highest mountains, the glaciers are receding or ablating quite rapidly. Predictions are that things are going to get warmer before they begin to get cooler again. So yeah, I would say that we're in a definite warming trend right now, and the glaciers are some of the best indicators of that in the world.
It is a desperately poor and remote corner of our world, and so far without help they are having to deal with changes to their landscape that Dr. Byers believes are 3/4 man-made.